Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the council meeting being held in the council chambers for this Monday, the 14th of August. Item 1, we'll start with the opening affirmation and acknowledgement of country. We gather to represent the people of Albury who have entrusted us with this task. May our efforts be blessed with insight, wisdom and common sense. May our personal values give us honesty and courage to serve our community effectively and with respect for all. We would like to acknowledge the Wiradjuri people as the traditional custodians of the land that we meet upon today and pay our respects to the elders past, present and future, for they hold the memories, culture, tradition and hopes of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people that contribute to our community. A reminder that this council meeting is being webcast and recorded. By speaking at the council meeting, you agree to being recorded and webcast. Please ensure that if and when you are speaking at this council meeting that you are respectful to other people and use appropriate language. AlburyCity accepts no liability for any defamatory or offensive remarks or gestures made during the course of this council meeting. An audio recording will be made for administrative purposes. Item 3, conflict of interest declarations received by the chair and disclosure of political donations. Mr. CEO.
Thank you, Mayor King. No conflict of interest declarations received. So I'll move to the advice around disclosure of political donations and the requirements of the Environmental Planning and Assessment Act. The Act under Section 10.4 requires a person submitting planning applications or submissions regarding a planning application to disclose any reportable political donation and or gifts to any local councillor or employee of council. Reportable political donations include those of or above $1,000. The disclosure statement forms are available on the council's website or from the Customer Service Centre and must be lodged in accordance with the Act. In dealing with development applications, councillors need to take into account specific planning matters contained in the Environmental Planning and Assessment Act. Accordingly, the provisions of Section 4.151 of that Act are set out in the Council Officer's report, detailing planning issues to be considered. The Local Government Act 1993, Section 375A requires that a division be called whenever a motion for a planning decision is put at a meeting of the council. Planning decision means a decision made in the exercise of a function of council under the Act, including a decision relating to a development application, an environmental planning instrument, a development control plan, or a development contribution plan under the Act, but not including the making of an order under Division 9.3 of Part 9 of that Act. Thank you, Mayor King.
Thank you. Item 4, CM4 apologies, 4.1 apologies. Councillor Thurley.
Thank you, Mayor King. I move that council receive, note and accept the apology of Councillor Jess Callaghan and grant leave of absence for the meeting.
Thank you. Councillor Bowen.
I'd like to second that motion, Mayor King.
Thank you, councillors. We'll put that motion. Those for? Those against? That motion is carried. Thank you. CM 4.2, attendance by councillors at a meeting by audio visual link. Councillor Glacken.
Thank you through you to move the recommendation as a motion that council receive, note and accept the attendance of Councillor Baker via audio visual link for the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Bowen.
Thank you, Mayor King. Happy to second that motion.
We'll put the motion. Those for? Those against? That motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. CM5 mayoral minute. There is none. CM6 action plans. Councillor Betteridge.
Through Mayor King, I'd like to move that the following action plans be received and noted. 1, actions complete for noting only. 2, actions awaiting response from external parties. 3, actions in progress. And 4, long-term issues more than 3 months.
Thank you. Councillor Thurley.
Second the motion, Mayor King.
Thank you. Councillor Betteridge, did you wish to speak to the motion at all? Councillors, anyone wish to speak to the motion? If not, happy to put the motion. Those for? Those against? That motion is carried. CM7, confirmation of minutes of previous meetings. CM 7.1, minutes of the council meeting held on the 24th of July 2023 at 6 p.m. Councillor Thurley.
Mayor King, I move the minutes of the council meeting held on Monday, the 24th of July, 2023 at 6 p.m. be confirmed.
Councillor Bowen,
I'll move that motion, second that motion.
thank you. If there's no councillors wish to speak to it, happy to put the motion. Those for, those against, that motion is carried. CM8, reports from community forums. There are none. CM9, notices of motion, notices of rescission. There are none. CM10, presentations and deputations. We have none. CM11, reports or minutes of committees and working parties. CM11.1, minutes of the Albury Crime Prevention Committee meeting held on Tuesday, the 6th of June, 2023. Councillor Cameron.
I'd like to move that council receives notes and accepts the minutes of the Albury Crime Prevention Committee meeting held on Tuesday, the 6th of June, 2023.
Councillor Edwards.
Happy to second the motion, making.
Councillor Cameron, do you wish to speak to the
Thank you.
motion? No other speakers for or against? Sorry, we'll put the motion. Those for? Those against? That motion is carried. CM12, documents for sealing. There are none. CM13, officers' reports for consideration. CM13.1, development application 10.2022.39306.1, 132 lot subdivision, 356 KERR Road, WIRLINGA. Councillor Glacken.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor King, to move the recommendation as a motion that council A, receives and notes the contents of this report and grants consent to development application 10.2022.393.06.1 for a 132 lot subdivision associated works on land described as lot 28 of DP 1243505 situated at 536 KERR Road, WIRLINGA, subject to the conditions contained in the draft determination included at attachment 5 to this report. Thank you.
Just clarifying 356 KERR Road, just for the record.
5-6. I do
That's okay.
apologise
No,
for whatever wherever I relocated them to. Situated at 356. Yes.
All right, thank you for clarifying. Councillor Thurley.
Second the motion, Mayor King.
Thank you. Councillor Glacken, we do have a question, but do you wish to speak to the motion first off? Councillor Cameron, question.
Thank you, Mayor King, through you to the most appropriate member of staff. As councillors and staff may be aware, and I think most people in Albury are aware, traffic congestion has become very severe in recent years in Thurgoona, particularly at peak traffic times. There was some debate over whether we should have traffic lights or roundabouts, and we, as a council, determined that there would be traffic lights there. I don't know whether that's helped the situation, but the matter that I need to be assured of before I could support this development application is if we could ask the most appropriate member of staff to give us a brief overview of what is planned in terms of improving traffic flow in Thurgoona and WIRLINGA. This is the only growth corridor really in the city. And before we add more traffic to that road, I think we should pause and consider what is in the pipeline.
Mr. Ferris.
Through you, Mayor King, and thanks for the question, Councillor Cameron. There's a number of initiatives on the major routes in and out of Thurgoona and WIRLINGA that are currently underway or in progress. The Link Road project, which we're committed to, we're in the final stages of approvals and designs, and some of those stages will be released as soon as those approvals are through. We've also got the Davey Road interchange, where recently we've upgraded that, worked with the government and upgraded that for both southern ramps and northern ramps now to prepare for the Link Road project. Thurgoona Drive interchange with the freeway, Transport for New South Wales are undertaking a full review of that, and we should have the results of that in the near future. And as you're aware, we've also completed the Barella Road corridor strategy, which is the other major link to our growth area, and identified a whole range of improvements along there that we're certainly working with the government around implementation and prioritising those treatments.
Another question, Councillor Gluckin.
Thank you to the most relevant member of staff through you. My understanding is that Councillor Cameron was asking with reference to, as well as the other information that was provided, Thurgoona Road and Elizabeth Mitchell Drive and the traffic lights. And
News to me, but go on.
he made reference to the traffic lights at that roundabout. And my understanding is that further works are going to be undertaken with line marking. Can that be explained, please, or elaborated on?
Mr. Ferris.
Through you, Mayor King. Certainly the traffic lights have improved the efficiency of that intersection since they were introduced some years ago. There's some fine tuning with regards to line marking there and the merging of traffic. Just it's more driver behaviour, but we're just going to amend some of the line marking where 2 lanes merge back to 1 so that the queuing occurs in both lanes instead of predominantly as it is at the moment, the queue in 1 lane.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Another question, Councillor Edwards.
Through you, making to the relevant member of staff, just a question around the Albury local housing strategy and whether this development addresses the key themes of the strategy being supply, diversity, affordability and resilience.
Through you, Mayor King. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Okay. So any residential estate is going to deliver something in terms of housing. So when we consider it in the overall context of the manner in which we deliver housing, which is via our precinct structure plan in this area, it is consistent with the requirements of that plan and delivers density that we'd anticipate in that plan. We can expect some variety of housing within the estate, but typically it meets the requirements and we have a range of other options available to us in terms of different styles of development in the area. As we see new developments emerge around our major neighbourhood centres, we can expect to see higher density and some more variation in terms of housing, but this development meets the mark in terms of the precinct structure plan expectations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers for or against? Councillor Gluckin, did you wish to close debate?
Open debate.
Oh, I haven't opened it with you. I'm so
But
sorry.
that's okay. I'm happy to open debate.
Apology.
And should there be no other speakers, then I'm happy to have it as a closing debate. Thank you very much. With reference to this development, it is something that's been in the pipeline for a couple of years now. The developers have worked with council staff and have gone through the process to ensure that they meet as best possible, noting the conditions of what their development is, the development that will suit that Thurgoona area and is aligned with the population projections, it's aligned with the service provision, and it also ensures the future opportunities for development beside that development, and has ensured that one of the roads can indeed link through to the next development, etc. They have repositioned a couple of the ingresses into their property to ensure that, again, they meet the environmental requirements to have the least possible footprint in that space. They have a variety of lot sizes and they have taken into consideration the environmental aspects of that larger lot, including that creek area. So I'm very mindful that the developers have taken time and made considerable effort to ensure that they create a development that fits the Thurgoona-Willinga plan, fits Thurgoona in its style, and provides ongoing opportunities for housing stock or land stock to provide housing within our community. So I think this is a good development and a good outcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gluckin. We'll put the motion in division. Councillors, those for, Councillor Baker, Councillor Thurley, Councillors Edwards, Bowen, King, Betteridge, Cameron and Glacken. There are none against. Thank you, councillors. The motion is carried. Just to clarify. Item CM 13.2 Centaur Road reconstruction, Overend Street to Mudge Street, contract number 20/02903. Councillor Edwards.
Thank you, Mayor King. I'd like to move an alternative motion.
We'll wait till we get that on the screen.
I'd like to move that Council A accepts the tender from Excel Grey Brunei Proprietary Limited for contract number 20/02903 for Centaur Road reconstruction, Overend Street to Mudge Street for the lump sum value of $1,920,191.90, and B explores the opportunity of creating a comprehensive wildlife corridor along Centaur Road following the completion of the Centaur Road reconstruction, Overend Street to Mudge Street, that exceeds the minimum requirements for ecological compensatory planting and artificial hollow replacement rates required by the Albury DCP 2010 Part 5, Section 5.3.2.
Thank you. Councillor Thurley.
Second the motion, Mayor King.
Councillor Edwards, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yes, please. Unfortunately, the works required to complete this essential upgrade for Centaur Road include a significant amount of vegetation removal, native vegetation removal. This includes the removal or potential loss, the removal of at least 10 mature trees and potential loss of many more, including the removal of 2 hollow-bearing trees and vegetation that's highly likely to meet the New South Wales criteria for critically endangered box gum woodland. The report tells us that the constraints of the road reserve and road safety requirements mean that these impacts are unavoidable. The report also tells us that the proposed vegetation removal is to be mitigated by a compensatory planting ratio of 10:1 for large old trees, or otherwise in accordance with the planting ratios of the DCP for other vegetation types. So that is 10 trees planted for every large old tree removed. I think council can do better than the minimum set by the DCP. A wildlife corridor with plantings above and beyond the minimum ratios would help council meet our goals of increased canopy cover and support biodiversity in our city. It would also provide a wonderful entrance to our world-class waste management centre, highlighting the importance of both biodiversity and waste management. Protecting, enhancing and creating additional habitat connectivity is a key theme of our regional natural environment strategy. And we as a council have a great opportunity here to lead by example for better outcomes for our environment. So I encourage councillors to support this alternative motion.
Thank you, Councillor Edwards. Question, Councillor Betteridge.
Yes, the relevant member of staff. Will this motion before us have any impact on Excel Grey Brunei's tender price? I will put an onus on Excel Grey Brunei to do any more work.
Mr. Lawson.
Sorry about that. Through you, Mayor King. Thanks for the question. No, it won't have a bearing on the contract price at this stage. So the works will be completed following the completion of the contract.
Any other speakers for or against, councillors? In that case, would you like to sum up, Councillor Edwards, or happy to put the motion?
Happy to put the motion, making.
Thank you. Councillors, we'll put the motion. Those for? Those against? The motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. CM 13.3, design and construction of Wonga Wetlands Machinery Shed, contract number 19/05464. Councillor Betteridge.
You, through Mayor King, I'd like to move that Council A accepts the tender from MRN Rigging and Construction Proprietary Limited for contract number 19/05464, the design and construction of the Wonga Wetlands Machinery Shed with a lump sum of $415,855, including GST. And B, approves the allocation of $200,000, including GST, in additional project funding at future 2023-24 quarterly budget reviews to complete the project.
Thank you. Councillor Thurley.
Second the motion, Mayor King.
Thank you. Did you wish to speak to the motion?
Very good.
Thank you.
MRN rigging and construction are the best option, not only quantitatively, but also on a qualitative level. The project is important as part of the ongoing completion of the Wonga Wetlands redevelopment. Thank you.
Question, Councillor Edwards.
Through you, making to the relevant member of staff, have the registered Aboriginal parties been contacted and advised of the updated design as per the statement of environmental effects?
Mr. Warlow.
Through you, Mayor King. Thank you for the question, Councillor Edwards. Yes, there has been an Indigenous working group that has worked very closely with council officers through the process of designing the new shed and also the larger visitor education centre that will be brought before council at a later date. In addition to that, an AHIP has been applied for and granted for the construction on the site. So we are quite comfortable at this point that from an engagement point of view, we have spoken to all the relevant stakeholders.
Thank you. Follow-up question, Councillor Edwards.
Yes, please. Yeah, my question was specifically relating to the change of the activity from the original AHIP that was granted. And it was noted that post that change, the registered Aboriginal parties would be updated. Has that occurred? Mr. Warlow?
Through you, Mayor King, and thank you for the question, Councillor Edwards. I'd have to take that specific question on notice and get back to you. I don't quite have that detail at hand.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers for or against this motion or questions? You happy to put the motion, Councillor Bettridge? Okay, councillors, we'll put the motion. Those for? Those against? That motion is carried. CM 13.4 Draft AlburyCity Event Strategy 2024-2028 Scope and Stakeholder Engagement Plan. Councillor Gluckin.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor King, to move the recommendation as a motion that council receives and endorses the scope and stakeholder engagement plan for the development of the draft AlburyCity Event Strategy 2024 to 2028.
Thank you. Councillor Bowen.
Thank you, Mayor King. Happy to second that motion.
Thank you. Councillor Gluckin, did you wish to speak to the motion?
Yes, simply to highlight the importance of such strategies to our city and our regional community. Events, as is highlighted in the report, provide an enormous stream of money inflow into our city and has a knock-on effect into our region. The events that are enabled and facilitated as well as hosted by our city and co-chaired or shared on occasions with Wodonga City are really significant and continue to grow, albeit some little hiccups during the COVID period. But in essence, the vibrancy that the potential of the continued vibrancy that these events bring to our community are truly amazing and something that we need to take very seriously, because this will continue to grow and develop our city. It will support the continued growth and development of our city. It enables us to showcase the amazing facilities that we do have and the expanding number of facilities and the quality of the facilities that we have. So this is very exciting for our community and also the region. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Gluckin. Speaker for, Councillor Bowen.
Thank you, Mayor King. I'd like to echo the sentiment of Councillor Gluckin as well too in speaking for that motion. I speak before the motion as well too. Excuse me. I did note though that if I can say so, in the timeline in the strategy there is hopefully a typo error saying presentation of the final draft to the councils for public exhibition is anticipated between March and April 2023. I'm hoping that's 2024. Otherwise, we're in trouble. But otherwise, I look forward to this strategy. Events is a huge part of the Albury and Wodonga and the whole region's fabric, and it definitely brings lots of money, visitors, and energy into our great city. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bowen. Any other speakers for or against? Councillor Glacken, did you wish to close debate or happy to put the motion? We'll put the motion, councillors. Those for? Those against? That motion is carried. Item CM 13.5, Sustainability Advisory Committee Membership. Councillor Thurley.
Mayor King, I move that council endorse the addition of Graham Dade and Lyndall Vaughan as nominated members of the Sustainability Advisory Committee for the current council term.
Councillor Edwards.
Happy to second the motion, making.
Thank you. Councillor Thurley, did you wish to speak to the motion?
Just briefly, we put out expressions of interest. We have 5 community members already on this committee, and we can have 7 in total. So these 2 are very welcome new additions to the committee, a very active committee and very positive input to council.
Thank you, Councillor Thurley. Any other speakers for or against? If not, happy to put the motion. Those for? Those against? That motion is carried. CM 14, Officers' Reports for Noting. There are none. CM 5, Delegates' Reports for Noting. 15.1, the ALGA National General Assembly, 13th to the 16th of June, 2023. Councillor Bowen.
Thank you, Mayor King. I'd like to move the recommendation as a motion that council receives and notes the delegates' report on the National General Assembly of Local Government, incorporating the Regional Corporation and Development Forum, June 13 to 16.
Thank you. Councillor Thurley.
Second the motion, Mayor King.
Thank you. Councillor Bowen, did you wish to speak to the motion at all or any questions?
No, thank you, Mayor King.
Thank you, councillors. In that case, happy to put the motion. Those for? Those against? The motion is carried. Thank you. CM 16, Notice of Urgent Business. Councillor Cameron.
Thank you, Mayor King. I'd like to raise briefly, if I may, 2 issues. The first is there was some social media on the weekend about mothers' rooms, as they're commonly called, that is facilities provided to nursing parents or parents with young children. The one that was particularly highlighted as being quite bleak was the one out at the, for want of a better word, the Harvey Norman complex. It would be my understanding, which I hope the most appropriate member of staff can confirm, that that is not under council's control. But I thought it might be useful to have a brief outline, if possible, what mothers, for want of a better term, what mothers or fathers' rooms are available in the city of Albury at the moment and who maintains them, to our knowledge.
Mr. Millett.
Thank you for the question, and through you, Mayor King. Certainly for council facilities, we have a parents' room over at the Library Museum, and they're maintained by us. We also have a parents' room here in this facility just out the back at the administration building, obviously maintained by us as well. The Harvey Norman complex, you're correct. We do not maintain that. That's a private facility. There's other private parenting rooms available in West End Plaza, the Maya complex, Lavington Central, Lavington Shopping Complex as well. And these are all privately maintained.
Thank you. Would it be appropriate, Mayor King, and I'll leave this up to the CEO, it might even be an operational matter, but if there is such a thing, that he might, or have one of the staff have discussions with the proprietors of that mother centre, and just could they have a look at, you know, the state of it, the cleanliness, and could something be done about the chain on the chair?
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Very quickly, and I note that I imagine Mr. Finlayson is on leave at the moment, perhaps, but I wanted to ask, based on my own experience with electricity bills, like everybody in the Eastern Seaboard, my electricity was increased, I think, by Red Energy 30% in one hit. And it leads me to worry what, if any, connotations there are for council's electricity and energy charges. Therefore, if this is the scale of the increase, that I would have thought would have a huge impact on our budget. And could I be reassured, perhaps, hopefully, that we have other arrangements in place that will insulate us to some degree from that shock? Insulate shock. That's what I did there.
Mr. Miller.
Thank you for the question and through you, Mayor King. Yep, so rest assured, council has in place contracts that sort of protect us from those current fluctuations. So during 2022, we took part of a power purchase agreement for our large market sites. And so from the 1st of January 2023, we started a 10-year contract. So within that contract, there's standard rate rises within it, but it certainly protects us from those large rises that you'd be referring to. We have a second contract as well for our small market rates, which is actually procured through New South Wales procurement. And once again, that's a 10-year contract that we are part of as well. So within that, there's negotiations with the New South Wales government on a 3-yearly basis. The next one of those negotiations is in 2025.
Thank you, through you, Mayor King. Thank you for that. And that good work by the staff, CEO. It's good to hear that council and ratepayers are insulated from those shocks, even if private consumers of electricity like myself are suffering the impost of a 30% increase. And I'm sure I and many other people in Albury would be envious of those commercial arrangements the council has secured. Well done.
Thank you, Councillor Cameron. Any other items of urgent business, councillors? Councillor Bowen.
Thank you, Mayor King. I'd just like to make note of the Telstra Albury Wirlingga Business Awards on Friday night, and to congratulate those involved with the Albury Business Connect. I believe we're looking after that, so it was a great night had by all, and congratulations to all those businesses who were there on that night, plus also those who were anointed with a win as well too. But it was great to see a business community come together. And it was a great shot in the arm for businesses who didn't win to continue to strive to make this a great place to work and to live and run their business from.
Thank you, Councillor Bowen. Any other items of urgent business, councillors? If not, thank you. And I declare the meeting closed at 6:32. Oh, no. Oh, no, it's not. We do have one more item on the next page. My apologies. Thank you. Councillor Glacken, thank you very much.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor, to move the recommendations and motion that we move that council move into confidential to discuss item CM 17.1. As this is a confidential item, exclusive press or public on the grounds that the matters relate to commercial information of a commercial nature that would, if disclosed, prejudice the commercial position of the person who supplied it, or there's no or. made with reference to Local Government Act 1993, number 30, section 10A to DI. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Thurley.
Second the motion, Mayor King.
Thank you, councillors. Are there any statements or submissions from the public regarding the reasons as identified for this confidential item CM 17.1? There are none received. Councillors, do we wish to proceed with the motion to move into confidential? Those for? Those against? The motion is carried. The motion to move into confidential has now been carried. For our live stream viewers, we will now say goodbye. You can find the outcome of this confidential session in the meeting minutes, which are published on the AlburyCity website within 2 business days.